Last month, I made a video talking about a moderately unknown Resident Evil game called The Umbrella Chronicles, a game that unironically became one of my favorites after reviewing it, and in that video, I said this: Leon's not in this game. Damn, I could just feel everyone click off the video. Leon's in another game called the Darkside Chronicles. It's basically the same thing as this game, with different scenarios. Even if Leon was in this game, it wouldn't be Goth Twink BF Remake Leon, only the much cooler and low-key chill OG Simp Leon. Today we actually get to talk more about the Darkside Chronicles, all of the things it does better and worse than its predecessor, and whether or not I think it's a worthy sequel. Way back in 2005, a little game called Resident Evil 4 came out. Don't know if you've ever heard of it. Despite how different this game was compared to the original trilogy, there was still one thing in this game that felt wildly out of place. And no, it wasn't the fact that Leon was a fucking superhero. It was this guy, Jack Krauser. Man just kind of showed up acting like we should already know him. If you played this back in the day and saw this for the first time, your reaction was probably something like,
"Should I fucking know this guy? Why is that bro talking like he matters to me or something, for real?"
And if you did say something like that, you aren't alone, because none of us knew who this guy was. He didn't even exist yet, but the fact that he had the best boss fight in the game made us like him enough to at least be curious. And that leads us into the Darkside Chronicles, an on-rails first-person shooter similar to those you'd find in an arcade, yada yada yada. Go watch my last video if you want the details. Where Umbrella Chronicles followed many different characters and stories across Resident Evil. Leon doesn't show up in that game once, besides a small mention from Wesker. And Capcom probably did this on purpose, where Umbrella Chronicles is Wesker's game, Darkside Chronicles is very much Leon's game. And to be honest, that's probably all I needed to say to get you invested, so let's go. This game takes place over 3 different scenarios: Resident Evil 2, Code Veronica, and Operation Javier. For those who don't know, Operation Javier is a little thing that they mentioned in Resident Evil 4, a mission that Leon and Krauser went on together, and in this game we actually get to see that story be told. You play through a little bit of Javier to start before Leon tells the story of the Raccoon City incident. After that's all caught up, you play a little more Javier, where you find out the villain has possession of the Veronica virus. So then Leon tells us the story of Code Veronica. I appreciate the way they pace this game, because truth be told, the Operation Javier stuff is just not very interesting at all. Getting to replay through Resident Evil 2 is a real treat. In this game, Leon and Claire stick together the whole time, and it's fun to see how they would actually interact with each other. Claire has an actual reason to be jealous of Ada in this continuity, which helps a lot. And it's really cool to see the best voice actor for Leon do a more childish and soft version of the character.
What the hell?
Careful.
I'm gonna eat her ass later. You get to play through Code Veronica with Claire and Steve after that. And to be honest, I'm pretty cool with that, because playing through the actual game is a no-go for me. That game is horrible. Steve is way less annoying too, so that's a win. And we get this iconic cutscene with Claire, that's a win.
Carlos, look at the screen. Carlos.
No shitty fetch quests, that makes no sense. They drop a lot of the garbage filler. Just streamlines the story and keeps the horrible gameplay out of it. I'm sold. But yeah, Operation Javier is pretty boring. Doesn't really feel like it needs to be here, and considering it's the main story that they were trying to tell in this game, begs the question of why it was made in the first place. This game low-key sucks compared to Umbrella Chronicles.
What? I know, how is that possible? This game has Leon in it.
Well, I'll get to that, but first let's compare these two games. Darkside gets a nice graphical advancement that distinguishes it from all the other RE games. It looks a lot more like RE5. It looks good. What doesn't look good is this new shitty-ass shaky cam they've got going on. Like, sometimes the camera is moving so much that I genuinely can't see what I'm looking at. Or I'm in a boss fight and I end up wasting my ammo because Leon decided to jerk his fucking view, so I miss my shot. However, this time around you do get to see your other characters, which is really nice. On top of that, we get an updated HUD and physical reload animations, which look great, but do lag my game sometimes. In Umbrella, you can find ammo, grenades, and intel by shooting them off the walls. That returns in this game, but it's noticeably harder to actually find any items. Most things you shoot now just give you a little coin that you can use to upgrade weapons at the new shop. By now, you guys have probably seen this exact screen in some other Resident Evil game. This shit is so tragic, man. I can't stand when they give us shops like this. And these upgrades are super expensive. I had to replay missions multiple times just to upgrade my gun once, and considering this isn't the most riveting gameplay ever, I really didn't like that. And there's a lot of little things in this game that make it feel like it missed the mark. Like, tell me how in Darkside, you play as Leon, Claire, Krauser, and Steve. 4 characters. Yet in Umbrella, you play as Chris, Jill, Rebecca, Billy, Wesker, Carlos, Ada, and Hunk. Maybe even Enrico. I don't remember.
Remember, what does that even matter if you don't see your character?
Okay, let's look at the the amount of weapons compared to the first one? Oh, how about the amount of different scenarios? In Umbrella, you play through Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and 0, plus extra Wesker stuff that's exclusive to the game, plus all the bonus scenarios. That's a lot of content. In Darkside, you get 3 scenarios, and one of them is short and also ass. Don't get me wrong, they are longer levels in Darkside, but they just aren't different enough to keep me very interested. But wait. There's one thing I purposely avoided mentioning until now. Leon S. Kennedy. Look, I've loved this character since 2007. I looked like him, I acted like him, I got a Los Illuminados tattoo on my arm, and then this guy came around. I don't know what it is with you fans, but y'all treat Twink BF Leon like the second coming of God. I don't want to be associated with any of that. Y'all do too much when it comes to this guy. This isn't a debate. I'm not interested in arguing with you. I like talking about Leon, but I hate talking about Leon in 2025 because you guys are really, really weird about it. When I say I like Leon, I'm not talking about this guy. Despite everything I just said, in Darkside Chronicles, Leon's alright. He's a little too chill in this game for me, and in a weird way, I don't feel like this should be his game, because RE4 is definitively his game. In Darkside, Leon only has connections to 2/3 of the story, so a lot of it feels out of place. I feel like this game would have been better if Krauser was narrating over it. He could be telling the story through after-action reports, which would make him feel more connected to RE2 and Code Veronica, and then give us a reason to care about him when we play as him in Operation Javier. Considering we already fucking killed him, this is probably my hottest take with the game, but truth be told, Leon does not carry it the way Wesker did. And that's why we really need them to do Wesker right in RE5 Remake. Wesker is the face of pre-remake Resident Evil. They already had a pretty bad start with separate ways, and it makes me worried, because a world where Leon is as popular as he is, and Wesker is not, just makes no sense to me. In the Umbrella Chronicles video, I talk a lot more about the mechanics and gameplay. This video is more of a follow-up to that, so I'd really recommend checking that one out too. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, join the Discord to get notified every single time I upload. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.